Well, here we are today at Fisherman's Walk in Brodick. There's wee Sally waiting. Although that's a bit ironic because it's really always me waiting for her. So she's giving a good impression there of somebody who doesn't like to stop and sniff and really go nowhere unless she gets a nudge. Come on, Sally. One thing, she's got a wonderful sense of smell, so this kind of place is great for her because it's lovely and sandy and soft and grassy, and there's so many nice smells for her, you know. It's really interesting. So this is a great place to bring Sally. I'll just poke over here. There we go. The view for today. The ferry's in. Nothing special today. Lovely for Sally. It's not sunny or warm, it's mild, but it's nice, you know, it's not hot. So she loves this. So she's been running about all the way along the grass coming up here. She's having a good time. I guess she'll do a lot better now the autumn's coming. And thinking about it, what is the date today? The 30th? Thinking the 30th of August. Could be wrong. I've got a watch on my phone. I'm going to go for the 30th. In fact, I'm sure it is the 30th, isn't it? Which means the day after tomorrow is the first day of autumn, isn't it? If you say September, October, November are autumn months, then we've only got one day of summer left, which will be tomorrow. I like autumn anyway. It's fine. Let's see if I can see a castle through here. A little bit. A little compact. It doesn't like zooming in very much. It does quite well at short distance. It's kind of the opposite of my eyes. My eyes are brilliant at long distance. I can see things from very far away perfectly. Sorry, going the wrong direction now. But like many people my age, short distance is a bit of a struggle. The only thing I'd say about that, I got my eyes tested, I don't know, but maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and the optician said, well, you've got 10-10 vision, and to be honest, I didn't know what that was. I thought it was that just like one step worse than 20-20 vision, because I've heard of 20-20. And there we go, the doggy. 20-20 vision, and turned out 10-10 vision is better, and it's when you can read the bottom line of the optician's letters thing they get you to read, you know, the tiny letters at the bottom. And I've only been able to read those letters once that I can recall, and it was just one occasion. Just sorry. Right, we'll go this way. It's busy. Still summer. English schools are still off. Scottish schools are back. Anyway, so it turns out 10-10 vision is the best. And I said, well, that's wonderful, isn't it? I've got like perfect vision. And he says, no, it's really bad news. Because it means that your vision can only go one way from now on, and that is downhill, which means you're going to need glasses in a few years. So that was a surprise. I always thought you were aiming for the best eyesight, and then turns out it's bad news when you get it. But anyway, he was right, and a few years later I'm thinking, I tried some of these glasses on and I realised I could read far better with the reading glasses on than without any reading glasses. So I've kind of expected that I'm going to have to get them sometime, but I've resisted it. Here she comes. Here she comes. And I'm thinking, well, if I get glasses, maybe my eyes will get weaker, they'll get lazy, you know, that way of thinking. Of course, again, I've heard the opposite of that as well. Right, let's see if Sally's okay. I kind of avoid this boardwalk, to be honest, because I worry about her paws going between the gaps. Let's see how she does. I usually go on the sandy bit. So far so good. Maybe, no, not good. Not good. Okay. Gaps are too big. I thought that. Stay there, Sal. We'll go back on the sandy bit. I kind of thought that, but I thought I'd give it a try. Okay, so not dog friendly. People friendly, but not dog friendly. We'll go over this way. I'll lift you over this wee bit. And round this puddle. There we go. How are you? Ah, fine. Our paws were going down between the gaps there. So, it doesn't go very well. So I tried it, but I thought that would happen, so I've just lifted her onto here. You see, I don't know, got her breaking her leg or something. Yeah, so what was I saying about glasses? God, the things that you talk about. I didn't plan on talking about glasses. It's a funny thing. You just end up just rabbiting. Well, there's the skeleton of the boat out there. Zoom into that. There we go. Oh, we see it in tide slow. Very low tide here today. And the castle behind. In fact, that's not a bad photo. I'm going to take a photo. There we go. You can do that with this camera. Take film and photos at the same time. So, yeah, so I resisted, but I have also heard that if you don't have the glasses but you need them, you can be straining your eyes, and then that can make your eyes worse because you're always struggling to read. Whereas the glasses, you're not struggling. So I'm not really sure which way it works. But to cut a long story short, that was a good few years ago. And here I am now, 57. And I feel my eyes are getting better again. Which I didn't really think is possible if you're just getting older. You know, your eyes were going out, which they were. They went out and reading was difficult. And it seems to me that reading is getting easier again now. Right. Sorry. Right, maybe we'll try this bit of boardwalk. This one looks like there's less gap between the boards, so we'll maybe try this in the last bit. Okay, Sally, come on up. We'll try again. And if we get to any big gaps, I'll get to them first, so hopefully I'll see them coming. Right. There we go. Is that okay, Sally? Maybe? Yeah, I think so. Caution in wet, no grip strips. Okay, so it's a new boardwalk bit here. Very nice. Nice and shiny. So anyway, yeah, so time will tell. So I haven't gone for reading glasses, and I mean I'm going back a lot of years here, and I still don't have them. So fingers crossed from my point of view, because I can't be bothered messing about with them, that I'm right, my eyes are getting better. There we go, Sally. Okay, you still alright, kinda? Well, there's sand in between the boards here, so that's alright. So that's not going to be a problem. Time will tell, but so far I don't feel my eyes are getting any worse now. I think they're going the other direction, so I'm just not going to, well, I'll know next time I get them tested. I haven't had them tested for a long time because of COVID and stuff. I want to make sure and do that sometime. But anyway, what I was going to talk about today, which wasn't glasses, was something that Ian Roberts said to me at work actually yesterday, I think it was, and that was how self-driving cars are becoming, well, they're possible, they have got them. I think the law's just changing so that you can drive them on motorways now, and the worry that you'd have, you know, of being in a vehicle which everybody can understand, I think, that you're not in control of, and that as long as possible you're not going to be in a self-driving car. I'll give Sally a nudge. Come on, Sal. There we go. That's on the other side of the path. And of course he's right, you know, it fills me with dread. I can't even sit in the passenger seat of a car easily. Even that, you know, is something that makes me nervous. I'm not a good passenger. I like to be driving because I feel that, you know, I'm in control, and I drive quite slowly, and so I'm not going to be, I could be, well, anyway, so I'm safer, I think, since I'm quite a safe driver. I've never hit anything or had any problems. 7 cars have hit me when my car's been parked at the side of the road. 7, but I've never hit anybody, and also I've never claimed. Oh, Sally, that wasn't good. Okay, these boards are too wide. So what we'll do, I'll just lift you up. Went in between the boards there, didn't you? We'll get you over this little bridge bit, and we'll get you back on the path again, I think. Okay, so the boardwalk's not good for Sally. Well, that bit's not good. Oh, I think this is a bit wide as well. Come on, Sal. There's the new one. Let's see if the gaps are smaller in there. Maybe. Might be. We'll try it. Nice bench anyway. Okay. I'm not convinced, Sally. No, I think we'll just go back down the path. That's what we'll do. See if she can hear me. Come on, Sal. Okay. No, that's not good. That's not good, is it? Okay, we'll get you off this. There we go. Okay. That's it. Now we know what we're doing. Yeah, so the fear of the unknown, of automation, that's the thing, right? So cars driving at 70, 80 miles an hour, and you're not even touching the controls, and I get it, you know, I feel exactly the same about that one. But the only other way of looking at it, if you try to look at the other side of it, if you go back hundreds of years before cars, and somebody said, well, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the next village, and instead of walking or I don't know if they had, well, how far back they had horses. I don't think horses are naturally British anyway. You're going to get in a tin can a machine that's going to take you at massive speeds to the next village, in medieval times or something. None of us would have done it then either, and that's a car, of course, I'm talking about. So the idea of even just getting in some machine that transported you, a bit like Aladdin's magic carpet, would have filled a medieval person with equally amount of dread, probably far more, than an automated car. And the fact is, we know automated cars statistically are far safer than we are. So there's the thing, they're already far safer than us, and they're going to get safer and safer. So for myself, I think the time's going to come where we just can't drive anyway. We're not going to be safe enough, or we'll be uninsurable, just because we'll be comparatively so dangerous. So you just got to embrace it, and that's the thing. So I understand the fear, and you can apply this to all technology, but you've got to embrace it, and there's a good side to it and a bad side to it. But the only thing you can say, it's inevitable, it's going to come. So you can't really resist it. You've got to embrace it. I've heard people say, for example, in the co-op, you know, you shouldn't go to a shelf service till. Being a drunk Scotsman here, because you're doing somebody out of a job. I'll just get Sally to watch. There's a couple of jellyfish here. There's one. So you're not going to be standing on that jellyfish, Sally. Come on, let's get you. Let's get you. Okay. Got you? Okay. You should resist automation. Or you'll do somebody out of a job. But again, it's inevitable, you know. If you think about that, you would apply that to online purchases, then you wouldn't buy anything online. If you're doing the shop assistant out of a job, you just go to the shop and buy it. But we're buying online. It's irresistible. Or the same as using cash. You might prefer cash, but at the end of the day, it's going to disappear. Checks have disappeared. They might have been handy, but they've gone, and so will cash. So you just have to get on with it. So sadly, the self-service tills at the co-op, they're just a fact of life. They're there, and it's going to be more efficient. In fact, if you think about our point of view, well, that person the shop does no longer have that chore to do, which is putting your shopping through, because you're doing it for them. So in a way, you should benefit from cheaper prices or from the increased efficiency of that, which all automation is designed to increase efficiency. And then in the end, the idea is that we reap the benefits because everything's easier. So and the other thing I'd say, you can see what you're paying for one of those tills. So again, there are advantages and disadvantages. Even where I work at Calmac, you've got online bookings, and you've got online bookings, so you could say that's doing me out of a job equally. Can't do anything about it. You know, that's just the way, and people like to book that way. So if you resist it, you're doing them out of a choice. It's probably something one of the most things I appreciate lately is the fact that I can buy my shopping, for example, online, whereas if you think back 20, 15 years, you had to go to Glasgow for the day just to buy a pair of shoes or anything really, you know, that wasn't available just in the grocery store. It was a day away in Glasgow. I don't have to do that anymore. Go online and I can buy anything I want. I can buy specialised running shoes, a carbon fibre bicycle. I even found Sally online, and that's how I found her. She was in the rescue page, Westie's in Need. I bought properties online, vehicles, book holidays. So it's very handy. Doing somebody out of a job. Well, you could say it's creating other jobs. But anyway, so you can't really do much about it. So I've embraced the self-service tills at the co-op, and I've tried to use them. I don't like them either, but because I know that they're inevitable, and if I can't do them, I can't get my own shopping. I'm just not going to manage it. So there's a lot of people up here. So I try to kind of face them, so when I go in the co-op, I can brace myself for using that till and selling. Alright.
Another video for the Facebook.
That's what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm going a bit slower than normal because of the sand. and the smells. Right. There she comes. So yeah, so I go to the self-service one deliberately just to kind of practice using it. Although I do dread it, and what I do, I go to, there are 4 self-service ones in Brodick, and I always miss out the first left-hand one. I'm suspicious about that one. I think I've got a worse strike rate on that one. It tends to kind of blow up more often than the other ones for me, so I missed that one out. And go to one of the other ones and just hope I've done the right thing. And then you see a pile of baskets sitting on the wee weighing thing, you know, you think, is that going to affect my shopping? So I take the baskets off. So I always take the baskets off, but I think a lot of other people don't. But that kind of thing worries me, you know, is it going to disturb it? Is the red light going to go off? Because when it goes wrong, the green light turns into a red light, and then you've got to stand there and just do nothing until you get help, which is the bad thing. So it's kind of a dread thing. So I'm proud that I use it, but I still kind of dread it, even though I use it all the time. And then there's the bag thing, you know, like you've got your bag in the basket, and then it says, right, and you start, and you've got to get your bag out of the basket, and that's going to make it go doolally because you've taken something out of the basket. Oh no, my bag's in the basket. So you've got to kind of really concentrate on these things so it doesn't go wrong. But the funniest thing is that you've got like a robot talking to you the whole time, you know, in a kind of soft voice. It's a female soft voice, and but it's not a person. You know, it's obviously not. It's just a robot voice, and telling you what to do. And in fact, all I really want that voice to do is just to be quiet and let me concentrate on what I'm doing, because the constant noise from the robot like distracts me from what I'm meant to be doing, so it doesn't help. But anyway, so and I was standing there a couple of days ago, and you're kind of dreading that red light thing. I'm thinking, mine's green, getting to the bottom of the basket, and then the person behind me, I hear the robot saying, the assistant is coming, and the red light comes on, and obviously something's gone wrong, and they just stand there going, oh God. And the kind of ironic thing is, then the assistant isn't coming. That's no offence to the assistant. The assistant is the person in the kiosk usually who's got people in front of them and an awful lot to do, and they're very good at helping from the kiosk. I think they're incredible actually, with the number of things they do in there. I don't know if I could do it, but it isn't. They don't always come, you know, because they're somewhere else, or you know. But it's just the factual statement from the robot. The assistant is coming instantly. When the robot's got no idea, that's the point. If the assistant is actually coming at all. I'll just get this cake here. 1 second. It's open. There we go. Yeah, so it said as a factual statement, the assistant is coming, and of course the assistant sometimes does, sometimes just turns the light off from the kiosk, and sometimes just can't, you know. And in this occasion, the assistant couldn't come, so in fact the robot was lying. It's like, you know, you wonder why we listen to these robots when, you know, they're making statements like that clearly are completely untrue. You know, we could have said, you know, we're hoping the assistant's going to come, but in fact it's going to be the person who's got other things to do, or maybe somebody else altogether. Looks like you might be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, but time will tell. That would be more like it, but the robot doesn't say that. Right, here we are at the golf course. Amazing. Doesn't it look great? Yes, it does look great, Sally. We're sticking to the path like we're meant to be. There we go. So yeah, I felt sorry for the other person, you know, but also grateful that my green light is still on, and I've managed to escape the clutches of the robot going doolally and being unhappy with what I'm doing at the till. And it reminded me actually when the robot said that of just something for the memory banks. What we used to do when COVID first started, and the co-ops, you know, had to be very careful, and they had this green light or at the door, big bright green light, and a robot, and at intermittent times, you come up to the door, and then it would say, and the last one as well, come in, it is safe to enter the stall. And I remember the way the robot or the person said it. I'm going to say the person because that's what it's meant to sound like. The stall. It is safe to enter the stall. And the very fact that the person said stall, that's not from round here. So that raises suspicions in the first place, because actually you wouldn't even call it a store, you call it a shop. And you know, a store, where's that from, America or something like that? And then stall, because you're not even saying the R. Well, Scottish people say the R's, and they say them very well, in fact, you know. Ah, rubbish, right? Whereas this is stall. So you're not from round here, are you? But you're telling me that the store is safe. You know, but I don't think that you're a local. In fact, when I think about it, I know pretty much all the locals, every single one of them, because I worked in the co-op for 10 years, in the Arran for 5, and at Calmac for 15. So pretty much everybody who lives here sees me all the time. And I don't know that voice, so I don't think you do live here. The accent and the fact I don't know who you are. I'd know who you are if you lived here. So you're from somewhere else, which makes me suspicious when you're telling me it's safe to enter the store. And then, on top of that, I'm not even sure you're human at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's a robot voice, which means not only have you not been to the store and you don't live here, you're from somewhere else, but in fact you might just be from some kind of digital place altogether that doesn't even catch diseases. So for you, maybe the store is completely safe because COVID isn't something you can catch. But for me, I remain unconvinced by your intermittent message. And the other thing is, you only get that reassurance sometimes when you went in the shop. So sometimes I would stand outside, I remember, and going in the shop, and the robot didn't say it. And so I'm thinking, well, okay, I always get told that it's safe to enter the store, and now I'm not being told it's safe to enter the store. So does that mean, and I didn't believe the message in the first place, does that mean it's like completely unsafe to enter the store today? Is it COVID laden? Is everybody dead, including the robot? Am I going to go in and see a massacre? What's in there today? It's like, you know, the most pointless message in the world. And